talk to meteorologist Mike Favetta in just a little bit about that. How are you guys holding up, Lisa?
It's good. I wasn't expecting to see big fat flakes out my window this morning. So we definitely have to get to the bottom of that, because I thought it was supposed to actually warm up today, but we'll see about
that. What do we know at this point? 2 feet, what's another 2 inches? What difference does it make?
Absolutely. I'm surprised Mike is even awake this morning to come on the show, because I bet he didn't sleep for like 4 straight days.
I was going to say, the man worked for like 4 or 5 straight days, like somewhere between 12 and 18 hours for sure, because like us all, he does a lot of freelance work. So we're all over the place.
Yes.
So Lisa, you and I both have really long hair. I don't know, but I've only gotten my hair cut once in the last year.
Well, because I have some big things happening in the next couple of weeks, I actually went 2 weeks ago, because when am I ever going to have time to do it, like, again, ever in my life?
Yes. Yeah, that's true. Well, you know what? Your next appointment just might be from a mobile barber or hair salon. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit. And we're also going to be checking in on some Super Bowl snacks. We have our friend Chef Julie Hartigan coming up in just a bit as well.
Love Julie. And then we also have longtime New York news anchor and sports guy Scott Stanford to talk about the Super Bowl. But let's bring in Laura Jones, and we're going to be talking about Governor Murphy, who's making some moves to ease restrictions for restaurant and bars just in time for the Super Bowl. Impeccable timing.
Yes.
With plenty of pressure from fellow lawmakers. Here to help break it down is a longtime political reporter, Laura Jones, who knows the New Jersey State House inside and out. How you doing, Laura?
Very well, very well. Good to see you both. It's good that we're able to be online, because we don't have much of a commute even when there is snow. So that's a plus.
Yes, absolutely it is. So Laura, tell us, the restaurants have been clamoring for this for months. And, is the timing a little, I don't want to use the word suspect, but I guess convenient that it's just before Super Bowl?
Well, that was kind of what I was reading a little bit into it. However, when you look at the bigger picture, you see other states are starting to ease restrictions. Where I live in New Jersey, I can see Pennsylvania right across the river. So I'm also seeing in Pennsylvania, restrictions are easing there as well. They got a little bit more intense around Christmas and New Year's, and now they're starting to ease up closer to Super Bowl. What's happening in New Jersey, I don't think our restaurants are certainly really just struggling so much, but you've seen in New York City where there are even more intense restrictions. They're coming back on Valentine's. So, is there a political part to it? Yeah, probably so. And, it's good for the restaurants. What's changing is going from 25% capacity to 35% capacity. And instead of having the 10 o'clock curfew, that's being lifted. So it's a plus, but it's not a huge significant, oh, wow, it's a 180 from what's happened before.
Yeah. Well, Laura, you're going to actually stay on with us a little bit. And in the meantime, on the front line of the fight to reopen restaurants is a dear friend of mine, Senator Anthony Bucco, who joins us now. Good morning, Senator.
Good morning, everyone. How are you?
Great. How are you doing on this snowy morning?
I'm great. Although I could do without the snow this morning.
Exactly.
Yes.
I think we've had our share for this year.
So, Senator, I was browsing Facebook as I normally do, and the first post I saw a couple mornings ago was a petition that you had posted to get the bars and restaurants open for the Super Bowl. And then lo and behold, not even 24 hours later came the announcement from Governor Murphy that he was easing the restrictions. When does that ever happen?
Well, look, we've had the pressure on for a while, trying to get these restaurants, excuse me, trying to get these restaurants open. And, finally, I think it's sunk through, especially with the Super Bowl. The keeping the taverns closed, especially the bars and so forth closed at 10 o'clock on the day of the Super Bowl just made no sense. When you do that, people recognize that they're not going to be able to stay at the establishment they're at to watch the end of the game. So most likely they're not even going to go. They're going to stay home and they're going to have house parties where, now they'll be in an uncontrolled atmosphere. Whereas if you kept the bars open, at least the social distancing and protocols that are in place are there to protect folks. And it's better to have them there, actually, than in an uncontrolled house party. So it made sense for the Super Bowl and for other events to keep these establishments open. It also makes sense because the data now shows that these aren't the restaurants and the bars are not the cause of the spread. So, the governor always says, let's look at the data, make decisions on the data. I think it's time that we start looking at some of these restrictions and loosening them up. And then we'll see what the data shows. But I'm confident that it's going to show that we can do this and do it safely.
Yeah. Senator, what, we've been talking about restaurants and bars struggling since this all began. What have you heard from owners? What is it that they need to survive through this? I mean, I have several personal friends who own bars and restaurants, and more than anything, what I've heard from them is that they're looking for guidance. What do you need me to do that I can open this place and run my business? So what have you heard from them?
Well, I think first of all, they need to get a little bit more capacity, right? When they had the ability to entertain folks outside, that was one thing. They could increase the capacity by being outside. But now that option is no longer available to most, they have to be able to have a greater capacity inside. The protocols that are in place, they understand, the industry understands, they've patrolled themselves. Look, if you're a restaurant owner or a bar owner, the last thing you want is for your employees or your patrons to be sick. Because if they're sick, people aren't going to come back. So they're following the protocols they need to operate safely. So we have to give them the ability to open up a little bit more and have some additional folks into their restaurants to keep their wait staff employed and to keep them profitable. Just this week, just yesterday, I received an email that the Dublin Pub in Morristown, in my district, was temporarily closing. Now, this is a long-term establishment that's been in Morristown for years. It's a landmark there. It has a clientele that's been there for years. And if they can't make it under these conditions, what about these small mom and pop places that are just started out? There's no hope. So we've seen these places close their doors forever, some temporarily, some forever. We need to make sure that they have the ability to stay open, keep people employed, so we're not putting more people on the unemployment line. God knows we already have a mess at the Department of Labor with trying to get people paid their unemployment benefits. So, this is part of a big picture, and I think we're moving in the right direction. I don't think we want to go fast, but I think we want to continue to move forward so that we can keep people employed and keep these establishments open.
Yeah. Laura, anything that you want to ask the senator?
Well, you bring up an interesting point, Senator, about having people in a controlled environment versus people having things at home. And does that have a bigger implication when it comes to a lot of institutions, from schools to what have you? Certain schools, cannot be in person. And when you're thinking about, when they're in school, they risk more exposure. But then when you look at, I see exactly where they are. I know, where they're walking now. They're following lines. So in some ways it can be a little bit easier when you're in that environment, but it's kind of that bigger philosophical question, almost to, people are going to drink, so you might as well do it at home in a controlled environment. Does that kind of argument kind of apply to other issues when it comes to reopening?
Well, I think we've got to look at the data, and if the data shows that we can do this safely, then we need to do it. We need to head in that direction. If we don't, we're going to have a problem. The economy can only last so far. There's only so many tax dollars that we can put forth, and only so much money that the state has and the federal government has to continue to support our economy. And, the longer we go with a shutdown to the extent that we have it, the harder it's going to be to recover. So, when the data shows that we can do this safely, we need to move in that direction. And that's what the data shows. Now more and more people are getting the vaccine. I know it's been a slow rollout and people are frustrated, but the fact is that at least here in Morris County, we're being able to get the vaccine administered. And as more and more people get vaccinated, again, the data will show that we can start to reopen. We can start to get back to a little bit of normalcy. And we have to do that. We have to make sure that we stay on top of this and that we continue to look at the restrictions and make adjustments where necessary, when appropriate.
Senator, thank you so much for joining us here this morning.
Thank you. It's been great. And good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, Laura, we kind of want to touch on some other political news here for just a bit. It looks like there's going to be a bit of a big shakeup in Republican leadership through New Jersey. What's going on?
State Senator Tom Kean Jr., who is the son of former Governor Tom Kean, announced that he's not going to be seeking re-election in the Senate. And he is he holds the senior most leadership in the Republican Party in the Senate, meaning he's the Senate minority leader. You have the Senate president on the Democratic side, Republican. So he's not going to be seeking re-election. So that leaves an opening for John Bramnick, who is in the assembly part, the assembly counterpart to his district. And he said he's interested in running. So it was surprising to hear, wow, he's not going to be seeking re-election. But then again, when you step back, well, he's been there for 20 years. He's run for Congress. Will he run for Congress again? What's the bigger picture? Are we stepping aside to, because it truly is just that, is he tired and ready to, not tired, is he ready to just simply be more of a statesperson as opposed to actively involved? Or is he looking at bigger political ambitions? We'll see how that plays out. But as of right now, that means there will be an opening. So you'll have you'll have people, all right, who's going to be looking at that seat? And Assemblyman John Bramnick is kind of the most logical step.
Interesting. So, and we have been, he hasn't really, Senator Kean hasn't really spoken much then about what he plans to do beyond that then.
Correct. In his press release, what he said is, I want to spend a little bit more time. I think he said, I don't want to say with the family, but he wasn't saying that it's because of I'm tired of running this. He was, he gave a general statement. And what I thought was very interesting is I saw a press release from Governor Murphy's office praising him for his service. And one of the things that makes it hard to give some of these definitive answers and a little bit more insight is a lot of times, and you all know, pre-COVID, you're walking around the State House, you're seeing people, you're dropping by offices. When people make an announcement, you can read the room. You see who's standing around him. What are people saying? And we don't have that right now. No one has it right now. So we don't have that communication to be able to see, how are you talking? Did reporters ask the questions? Was he hedging? Who was standing around him? Was there somebody else in the wings that's waiting to take over? So those other pieces that you use when you're a reporter and covering it, oh, that made that announcement. Oh, there's such and such. He's ready to tee up. We've kind of lost a little bit of that. So it's making it a little more complicated to give as much insight and analysis because finding that information is a lot more difficult. You're having to physically call and do a lot more as opposed to just being there and watching it happen.
And getting that sense, that energy. Laura, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And really fast, Laura's probably going to be spending a little more time with us going forward over the next few weeks because our friend Lisa is going to take a little break. Go ahead, Lisa.
Yes, I'll be taking a little break. My due date is March 2nd, but I went to the doctor the other day and things might be coming a little bit earlier than expected. Laura, maybe on your birthday, who knows?
That's right. I start celebrating my birthday. I was due on February 2nd. I wasn't born until the 24th. So your due date, I'm thinking, oh, well, maybe baby comes, we'll have more reason to celebrate.
Yes. Two good Pisces girls.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you for holding down the fort, Laura.
And you know what? Only listen to the positive out there. It's going to be awesome. Everything's going to be wonderful and nothing but good vibes sending right to you.
How many? You have daughters, right?
3. I have a daughter and 2 sons.
Daughter and 2 sons. Okay.
Right.
Yes. Well, I'll go ahead.
Anything and everything.
Yeah.
It's you got it. You've got it, and you're going to be back doing. You will amaze yourself at how much you're able to juggle and how flawlessly I know you're going to do it.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you so much.
Thank you both. It's always
Thank you, Laura. We'll talk to you next week. Absolutely. All right, Lisa. We started off talking about the weather and the crazy snow that is falling again here in New Jersey. So we got to take him to task. Meteorologist Mike Favetta joins us this morning. Hey, Mike. What the heck is going on?
You look so good and chipper and awake. I would be asleep at my desk if I were you.
It takes a lot of caffeine, a lot of coffee to get it through. I not only do I have the mocha pot, which I bring back from Italy, I also brought back my 220 volt Italian espresso machine that plugs into a transformer, runs on the Italian power grid, because the American ones just don't do it with storms like these.
You're too funny. I did see that in your Instagram stories. I was a little jealous.
Yeah. I tried to do like a Reels-esque sort of post, but I'm a novice at these things. I don't have interns anymore to teach me how to do social media because of COVID.
We're all dating ourselves. I'm like, I have no idea how to do Reels. I don't understand. I also don't understand why it's snowing. Why is it snowing, Mike?
Well, that's a great question. We have some video the snow this morning in Morris County. Like many of you waking up in northern New Jersey, I woke up and I went, oh, not again. I can't. Too much snow. But here we go. Another round of snow. And this was a sugar coating, a very light round of snow that just gave us a little bit of powdery consistency, kind of covered the roads, covered the streets, and made for a pretty scene. But after more than 2 feet of snow in some places in New Jersey, obviously this is the last thing we need. So as we go into this afternoon, let's go to the weather computer, and I want to show you the clearing that will occur. In fact, it'll look quite nice once we get to later on today. We had this line of snow which kind of cut New Jersey in half, where the snow is here up to the northern part of the state, and then down to the southern part of the state we had the little bit of rain. And so here's the snow in blue, here's the rain if you're in South Jersey, but this all moves out. In fact, we have sunshine that returns later on today, and it looks quite pleasant because it'll keep to melt a lot of what happened earlier this week. We had more than 9 inches of snow out toward Pittman and Sewell, so those are some pretty big jackpot totals there. We had some other locations here in New Jersey, like in Middlesex County. If you're joining us from there, nearly 20 inches of snow for you. That was impressive. But I think the jackpot is up in Morris County, up in Lisa and my neck of the woods. Mount Arlington, nearly 3 feet of snow. But this snow total has been contested by the New Jersey State climatologist, thinking, no, it's probably incorrect and inaccurate, meaning that it was measured in a drift of snow. Because if you opened up your door, or if you had a northern facing, exit in your home, you probably saw all of the snow drifts that went as high as 3-4 feet. Well, if you go and stick a yardstick in there or a measuring tape and measure it, it's not official. So that's going to be contested. But just to see these other numbers up toward Bud Lake and Mendham and Randolph that are still that high, yeah, it was quite the storm. So much espresso required going forward. Now, there's another round of snow that comes in for Sunday. And this, I think, is going to be an issue starting early Sunday morning. You see, this is Sunday a.m., let's say about 7 a.m. And there's all of this snow across the entire state. However, it will likely be heavier down here in the southern portion of New Jersey that could accumulate a little higher. So we're going to come back in a few minutes and join you and talk about what that Sunday snow will look like, especially when we have the Super Bowl coming up. We have, maybe people looking to get out, but I think this is a good reminder to stay home, and we'll keep those people from going to any Super Bowl parties because, a little light accumulation on Sunday, will make for a little bit of a mess.
Mike, you're a brave man. I'll tell you what, I'm telling people there's more coming. Thank you so much, meteorologist Mike Favetta.
Up next, we're talking Super Bowl with longtime sports anchor Scott Stanford.
Hi, I'm Debbie Peterson, founder of the Wellness Gala. I'm very excited to bring you our television show, Balance Your Life with the Wellness Gala. Each week, we'll be bringing you experts in the fields of health, beauty, and wellness. We'll also bring you great tools and options to help you lead your most fulfilling life. You can watch Balance Your Life with the Wellness Gala on News 12 Plus throughout the New York metropolitan area. You can find it at Verizon Fios Channel 530 or Optimum Channel 61.
hips.
Oh boy, they weren't kidding.
You're looking for a gold crown.
Sure. So you say you're helping people through. How are you doing that?
Good morning. Welcome to the New Jersey Morning Show. We're back here with Scott Stanford, a longtime news and sports anchor here in the New York metro area. Sunday, the Kansas City Chiefs face off against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Super Bowl 55. Scott, how are you to talk all things football with me here this morning?
Well, you know what, Lise? It's good to see you guys. Very excited to be on the morning show with you guys. I see you're kind of leaning back, which leads me to believe you're pregnant, about to have a baby, which is cool. I like it. And the real good news is it's snowing again in New Jersey, which is great because it's like we're in Alaska right now. It's beautiful. But when you say longtime sports anchor, how long are we talking about?
Well, I met you at Channel 9 in 2006.
Oh, man, I was just a young pup back then.
I mean, it feels like 2006 was yesterday, but unfortunately it was not. So you can say for sure.
All right. Well, listen, I know you want to talk Super Bowl LV. I think that's 55, like you said, if my Roman numerals are correct.
I had to Google them.
You know, it's funny because back when Tom Brady was moved over to, to Tampa Bay, everybody said, well, the Super Bowl is going to be in Tampa Bay this year. Could be the first time we get a Super Bowl where the home team is in the Super Bowl. And everybody was like, no way. That never happens. Brady can't do this again. The guy's 72 years old. Lo and behold, here you got Tom Brady in his 10th Super Bowl, right? The guy's about to start his 10th Super Bowl, looking for his 7th Super Bowl ring. So you have realistically the greatest quarterback of all time going up against the greatest quarterback right now in Patrick Mahomes for the Chiefs. So you got some great storylines there. These two guys have faced off, I think it's 4 times before, and they're 2-2 against each other. And here you got Mahomes, who, I think he's trying to become the first quarterback ever under the age of 25 to win 2 straight Super Bowls. The guy's got a $400 million contract, so he's living in Schaefer City. And it's just, here's the thing, though, yes, it is a home game for the Bucs, but the fact that there aren't going to be that many people in the stadium, I think that bodes well. It bodes better for the Chiefs because it's not, yes, it's in Tampa, but it's not really a home game for the Bucs at this point because they're only letting in, I think, what they say, 25,000 folks out of a possible 80. And a lot of those folks are going to be first responders from around the country, healthcare workers from around the country. So I don't think you necessarily have that, Bucs home field advantage in this game. But it's pretty crazy when you think about it. I mean, I started eating more kale just because Brady was doing so well. And the guy's in such listen, who's living a better life than him? Would you rather be Derek Jeter or Tom Brady? You pick it. Either guy living the most amazing life you could possibly have, right?
Seriously.
And it's funny that you mention that because Brady moved into Jeter's house.
Yes.
He
moved into his house for like $75,000 a month, which is, that's pocket change for those guys. And you just, you look at some of the people, that Brady and Mahomes have around them, and you got a great cast of characters, right? You got 2 of the best tight ends in the game, Gronk, who went over to Tampa with Brady because he just knew something special was going to happen. And then you got Travis Kelce, from Mahomes having one of the best years a tight end could have. And it's just amazing that, the NFL in this time of coronavirus and the pandemic, that they brought this season to a finale. With all the testing and some of the guys had to sit out, some of the games had to be moved around to Tuesday nights because players tested positive. It's just absolutely amazing, much like the other leagues, that they actually brought the season to a finale. And I can't imagine since no one's really going to be in the stadium and there's really nothing for any of us to do. I bet you, and I'm not really a betting guy, but I bet you that this is one of the most watched Super Bowls in history. You know what
Scott,
I mean?
I would take that bet. It's got to be. Yeah, it's something to do. And speaking of coronavirus, I heard recently that the Chiefs had a little concern with coronavirus. Their barber tested
Yeah. Isn't that wild? Who would have thought the barber could bring down the whole Super Bowl? But yeah, apparently, I don't remember which players, but I know two or three of the players were getting their hair cut. The barber had tested positive. These guys tested positive, and it's just, I mean, the whole thing is insane. Not to get scientific, because I played a doctor on TV, but I'm not in person. The virus it's crazy. You don't know how you get it, where you get it, how, you know what I mean? I mean, I can get it from touching my own computer these days, but it's just wild. Yeah. What a side story, the barber for the Chiefs.
So Scott, just switching gears a little bit here. You have a show with Suki, your old partner from Pix 11. Talk to us about that. Yes.
The Suki and Scott Show, guys, was kind of born out of the pandemic. There we are. Look at us, a couple of handsome kids. Our show was really born out of the pandemic back in March. We started it as a hobby you could see from my basement here in her kitchen. And it literally snowballed into this 5-night-a-week show where it's kind of like the Tonight Show. We have celebrity guests. We have entertainers from all over the country. Great. You can't believe the talent that's all over this country of people that you never heard of. Singers, magicians, illusionists, comedians. They all come on our show. We've had some of the biggest names in Hollywood come on the show. And it really has snowballed to almost a year later, where it's, we have hundreds of thousands of viewers. We're talking, we're on njonair.com. As a matter of fact, you guys can go to our Suki and Scott page where all the shows are there. And it's been amazing. I have publicity people and PR people who are emailing us constantly all day to get their guests on our show. And we have Rick Springfield coming on next Wednesday.
No way.
If you don't think that I've been waiting to sing Jesse's Girl to Rick Springfield, you don't even know what's coming.
Now, Scott, you obviously cut your chops working in newsrooms all around the New York metro area.
Sure.
Isn't it beautiful how easy it is to do a show from your basement or living room and, just rolling out of bed or finishing up dinner, not having to commute, and then still having all of these people tuning in and getting these great guests?
Yeah,
I think it really changed our industry.
Yeah, no, and I think that's what made these guests available to us, is that they don't have to get out of their homes to come on the show. We would never have these guests coming into a studio, half of them, but because all they have to do is click a button and they're on for 20, 25 minutes. It's been so easy. And you know what? They're all looking for things to do also, because they're all sitting home. And all the entertainers who are on cruise ships, who used to entertain in nightclubs, they're all sitting around looking to stay busy and stay polished. So it's just been a great outlet for us. The pandemic for our show has been, and it sounds kind of crazy, but the pandemic has been a blessing for our show. When you talk about, hey, has anything good come out of this thing? Well, for us, yeah, it has, this show. And we're in discussions with different streaming sites now and different cable networks. So everybody's really catching on. And the best thing is, Lisa, is when, we had Bill Engvall on last night, the comedian from Blue Collar Comedy Tour. And I said, Bill, you've been on Kelly Clarkson and Ellen, The Tonight Show. I said, when your publicist said, hey, you're going on the Suki and Scott show this week, you must have said, who the hell are these people? Number one, what's happening to my career? And he said to me, you know what, guys, I have to tell you, this is the most fun I've had on a show in the last 2 years. And I was like, can you just say that again for the promotional clip? But it's been great. So yeah, Suki and Scott show. We're here on njonair.com, Facebook Live, and all kinds of streaming sites. And we're on Tuesday through Thursday, 7:30 live, and then of course the shows sit up on the site. And we have our fans are crazy. It's all 40+ women around the country, and they're insane. Absolutely insane. And I say that
Crazy fans are the best fans.
Yeah.
Sure. And Scott, you know what? Nothing wrong with thriving in a new situation. So congratulations to both you and Suki. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We really appreciate it. Enjoy the weekend at the Super Bowl.
By the way, Brady comes away with his 7th Super Bowl on Sunday. That's my prediction.
There it is. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Picture.
All right, we are checking in with meteorologist Mike Favetta. We got snow on the way for the Super Bowl.
We do. A little bit of snow starting later Saturday night into Sunday morning. Did you guys get enough snow? Did you have your fill this weekend?
My car is still not dug out.
Really?
It was a lot. Now, you're not far from me up here in Morris County, Lisa. I was surprised how much we got. I mean, if this snow depth surprises a seasoned forecaster, well, I'm sure that Sundays will surprise as well.
Oh, boy.
Man.
So if you're waiting to get out, maybe take the dog for the walk or looking to look for some sunshine today, there will be sunshine this afternoon. That's the good news. The snow from this morning is on its way out. We'll bring back a clearing that will take temperatures into the 40s. So a kind of a tale of two different stories. We started off this morning up in Morristown around the freezing mark with some light snow, but sun returns by 2 o'clock this afternoon. Newark had a little bit of snow mixed with rain, but once you headed down the shore toward Belmar and even over toward Toms River, those areas just had rain this morning. Everybody across New Jersey climbs into the 40s, even down by Atlantic City, 46 degrees, and sunshine prevails. Now, tomorrow will be a little bit cooler. We'll climb to 40 as the high, bring back the sunshine all day, but the clouds quickly return tomorrow afternoon to allow for that snow on Sunday. And I think Sunday is going to be a mess the further south and east you head. We'll talk about the storm track coming up in our next weather segment because there's going to be another round of, obviously, the snow on Sunday, but the amount that everybody will see is dependent on where the storm tracks. And this Sunday storm is kind of uncertain as to the exact position, and just a 60 or 70 mile shift of a big 1,000-mile wide storm could pose the difference between 2 inches or 6 inches. So that's something we'll keep an eye on.
Thank you so much, Mike.
You bet.
All right. Well, your next hair appointment could be on wheels and right in front of your house. We'll tell you what's being done to make that happen next.
Hi, I'm Debbie Peterson, founder of the Wellness Gala. I'm very excited to bring you our television show, Balance Your Life with the Wellness Gala. Each week, we'll be bringing you experts in the fields of health, beauty, and wellness. We'll also bring you great tools and options to help you lead your most fulfilling life. You can watch Balance Your Life with the Wellness Gala on News 12 Plus throughout the New York metropolitan area. You can find it at Verizon Fios Channel 530 or Optimum Channel 61.
All right, crew, let's get started. Sure.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show. I'm Lisa Marie Falbo.
And I'm Cara DeFalco.
So I have really, really sad news for you now, Cara.
Oh, no.
Toys R Us has closed again. I mean, torture for Jeffrey the Giraffe. Like, what did he do?
Aw.
Torture like this. But unfortunately, it's a sign of the times. Yes, the toy mega store has shut down once again. The brand was rescued in 2019, and they did stage a comeback. But the 2 remaining stores have fallen victim to COVID-19, including the one right here at Garden State Plaza in Paramus. The good news is that Toys R Us website is still open. So you never know, Jeffrey might make a comeback.
More and more people shopping online these days. That might be the best way to go. Cut the expense of the brick and mortar and just make it an online store. So we'll see.
And I'll save a lot of money in my future, because then she won't want to go to the store and buy every toy
and see things. Yes, exactly. So hopefully that helps you out as a new mama.
We'll see.
Well, listen, the other place that people just really aren't going these days is the salon or the barbershop. A lot of people are concerned because of COVID. Quite a few people doing haircuts at home. So now imagine if your stylist or your barber could come right to your house in basically a mobile facility. We have Senator Mike Testa joining us. He introduced the bill. Good morning. That is proposing this. Good morning, Senator. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So how exactly would this work? What would a mobile haircut look like?
Well, it all really started because a good friend of mine who happens to be a barber named Danny Bermudez won a mobile barbershop in a national raffle. And then he found out that he was unable to use it in the state of New Jersey. So what it would look like, and his is the only one that I'm aware of in existence in the state of New Jersey that's proposed to be used thus far. It looks like a mobile home. It has 2 stations that you would find either in a barbershop or a salon. It has all of the facilities that are necessary for a brick and mortar shop, sink, bathroom, running water, obviously proper sanitation, especially during the era of COVID-19. And, it would be able to park in front of your business, in front of your home, and you would be able to get the services that, you desire at your salon or barbershop at your convenience.
Wow. Can this be extended to like mobile manicurists and pedicurists and massage? Because that sounds great.
It absolutely can. And hopefully it should. I sort of liken this to food trucks and their popularity. They're not putting brick and mortar shops out of business, but there's a whole lot of popularity with the food truck scene. And I really think that, in discussions with Danny, and he is a personal friend of mine, not only a constituent, he wants to be able to park in front of a business. And if it's, lawyers, doctors, accountants, any type of professional, they could set up their appointments, for a half hour, and he could probably get, 8 appointments in and then move back to his brick and mortar facility, which he already has. He also, interestingly enough, and I'm really proud of him for this, he already does this once a month. He goes to the homeless shelter and performs haircuts for the homeless who are trying to get jobs and things of that nature. And this would only be a better facility for him to provide that level of service and community outreach.
That's incredible. Senator, so what, you said he won this truck and then found out he couldn't operate it. What's standing in the way? If we already have legislation to operate food trucks, what's standing in the way of operating other mobile services like this?
Just the fact of the matter is that, there's a lot of red tape in the state of New Jersey, unfortunately. And, this legislation hopes to remove some of that red tape and allow businesses to innovate. COVID-19, the old saying goes, necessity is the mother of all invention. COVID-19 has forced businesses, restaurants, salons, barbershops to innovate or die, unfortunately. And I think that, Danny Bermudez in his pursuit is showing that he is innovating, and he's going to try to provide that same level of service that he provides in his brick and mortar shop to people that want it throughout the state of New Jersey.
Yeah. Do you think people would be more comfortable with a private truck rather than a public salon, even when COVID finally clears up?
Absolutely. Look, I'm blessed to still have my 98-year-old Sicilian grandmother, and I know that she's, been pretty careful going out and about during COVID-19. And I will say this, I love her very dearly, and she's going to hate me for saying this, but she still has a bit of vanity left. She likes to get her hair done. And I know she would feel much more comfortable if the service were coming to her rather than her going to a shop where a lot of people are in and out, and obviously, in discussing this with Danny, I've toured his mobile barbershop more than once. It's immaculately clean. He has all of the cleaning products right there to make sure as soon as he's done servicing the client that the place will be re-cleaned to service the next batch of clientele.
Senator, I have to tell you, my great-grandmother was Piemontese, and at 98 years old, hair, makeup, skirt, and high heels every day. So they don't make them like they used to.
I won't comment because my wife might get mad at that one, but yeah, I agree. They don't make them like they used to.
No, but those ladies were something else. They were a whole different breed. Senator, thank you so much for joining us today. We so appreciate your time, and hopefully we can get this through. And like you said, COVID's just forcing businesses and entrepreneurs to innovate and renovate, and hopefully the government will help them along with that. So we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. Take care.
Thank you.
So, Lisa, we were talking a little bit about the snow earlier. We've had some more snow this morning. It actually caused a roof to collapse in Newark. This was at a church, the 95-year-old church in Newark. Take a look. No one, thankfully, was inside Shiloh Baptist Church when the roof collapsed. One of the walls also caved in. The roof just wasn't strong enough at this point to hold the weight of the heavy snow following the winter storm. The church's pastor is relocating his 300-person congregation down the road to the church's youth center while they look into rebuilding. So, with more snow on the way, we'll bring in meteorologist Mike Favetta and get a look at the forecast. And Mike, we're over it already.
We are. I know. We're over it. We want some springtime weather. You'll get sun this afternoon. And did you know, because there's snow covered everywhere across New Jersey, that sun reflects off the snow, just like if you were to go skiing without sunscreen, you get the sunburn on a sunny day. You could actually get a nice Jersey tan outside.
Oh, nice.
See that? So a little
I have gotten sunburnt in February, so I believe you.
Yeah, especially when you have all of this reflectivity of the bright sunshine off of the snowpack. We've got some cold weather across New Jersey. Let's show you some of the current temperatures right now across northern New Jersey. Across the state, we're sitting in the 30s, especially the northern half of New Jersey. We'll go right down here toward portions of Sussex County, where you start off at 34 degrees, even over toward Bergen County, 33 right now. And it's cold, really, no matter where you go, even out toward Newark and Elizabeth, there's your 37 degrees. You don't worry about that. That's not correct. Bernardsville, 34 degrees. And if you head down the shore, it's actually going to feel, I think, a little bit milder today with that nicer breeze. With the sunshine reappearing, it's already in the 40s right now across southern portions of New Jersey. So we go over toward Atlantic City and Brigantine, 44 degrees for you right now, 40 back over toward Egg Harbor City, and even over toward Bridgeton, 40 for you. So lots of mild air on the way. We're already in the 40s across the northern section of the state, and we are on our way to a sunny afternoon. The trouble is, more snow is likely, especially by the time we get to later on this weekend. So the snow begins later Saturday night, goes into Sunday morning. The thing is, we're not quite sure how far close to shore this system will track. So if the storm is out here and allows for a round of snow that comes a little bit closer to shore, there could be a good 6 to 10 inches along coastal sections of New Jersey. And that would only put maybe 1 to 4 inches here back over toward the northern part of the state. This is one scenario. But if this storm heads a little further out to sea, well, then I think we have numbers that are slightly less. So we'll bring you more updates, especially as the new information comes in, because there is so much to talk about with all this winter weather, one storm after the next. And Lisa, Marie, and Kara, we're in this pattern that keeps us in a wintry scenario or throws a little storm our way at least every 1 to 3 days for the next 2 weeks. So it's an active winter pattern that keeps us on our toes.
Yeah. And you're mentioning South Jersey, which really hasn't been getting a lot of publicity because of the jackpot totals that this storm brought. There was a lot of flooding. There was a lot of beach erosion, and these people might get hit very, very hard this weekend, which is not good.
No, I know. It's something that we're keeping an eye on. You've seen the video, I'm sure, of the beaches with the the 20-foot sand cliffs that the storm eroded away from the beachfront, went right up to the dunes and took away the entire beach down in some sections of New Jersey. And yet that was replenished by the Army Corps of Engineers just 2 years ago. So it shows how we have these bigger, more powerful storms that are really impacting the shore communities. And, there's a lot of this emerging science called climate change attribution to see if any of these storms are supercharged by climate change. And the data is showing that that's more and more becoming a thing.
Wow.
Well, thank you, Mike.
All right, Lisa Marie, we have a lot more show coming up. We're going to be talking with Chef Julie Hartigan about Super Bowl snacks in just a minute.
What would happen if I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors? What would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? So you can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
Is me, you, anyone that wants to be.
There is no typical firefighter.
Swing the hip.
Oh boy, they weren't kidding.
Whoop.
You're looking for a gold crown?
Sure. So you say you're helping people through. How are you doing that?
Welcome back, everybody, to the New Jersey Morning Show. Lisa Marie, I know you. You're my sports girl. You are psyched for the Super Bowl this weekend, and you are going to watch that game intently.
Absolutely. I will be up from 11 o'clock or whenever the pre-show of the pre-show start all the way to the end.
So, yeah, well, for those of us who, and I enjoy football, I understand the game, but I'm kind of, follow things loosely. The other element about Super Bowl that I love is, of course, the food. And I am so excited to have chef, healthy cooking expert, and fantasy football fan, Julie Hartigan, joining us this morning. She is going to share with us some lightened up takes on game day snacks for Super Bowl Sunday. Julie, how are you?
Hi, it's so great to see you ladies. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be here. And you know what? Whether you like football, whether you're going to watch a Super Bowl or not, let's admit it, football food is probably the most fun food out there, right?
Of course.
Yeah, and we can all use a dose of fun right now. So I'm going to share lots of really easy ideas that would be great for Sunday, or honestly, just to liven the weekend up a little bit. So let's just dig right in. To kick things off, pun intended, you could start out with some really fun little mini Mexican layer dips like this. These are no cook. They take no time at all. You basically are just assembling layers. And the trick to lighten this dish up, you're actually using fat-free Greek yogurt in place of the sour cream. You just use a little refried beans, some Greek yogurt, some store-bought guacamole, keep it easy for yourself, salsa, and you're ready to go. And you can serve it with some pretty veggies or with some chips. And then let's talk other types of football food that are classic. I love buffalo wings, right? Who doesn't? And nachos. Everyone loves nachos, yes?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So, okay, this recipe is one of my absolute favorites. It's pulled chicken nachos with a lime crema, and it could not be easier to make. So we're lightening things up by using just a rotisserie chicken that you shred and toss with a little bit of sauce. And then again, you're using that Greek yogurt hack. You just add a little bit of lime zest and some chopped veggies on top. And honestly, it's kind of like a deconstructed taco, you can call it, for dinner if you wanted to make that for dinner even tonight. And by the way, everyone, I should have mentioned up front, all of these recipes are on my website, cookingwjulie.com. And I'm also going to feature them on my Instagram today at cookingwjulie. So if anyone at home is watching and getting hungry and they want to know where to get these recipes, you can totally go there. Okay, so once you're done with your nacho platter, now we're going to talk about some buffalo wings. So wings are usually really heavy. They're breaded and deep fried, and the skin and the blue cheese dip is super heavy. So my hack with those that you just saw is to use chicken tenderloins, which are already pre-cut for you in the supermarket. You can grill them, you can broil them, and then again, you're going to hear me say it over and over. I love using Greek yogurt in place of sour cream. That way you can make yourself an awesome ranch dip or blue cheese dip. Or for another idea, and this one's really fun and trendy, you could do buffalo cauliflower bites, which is something that a lot of people are really into. They look like little mini wings. It's a great way to sneak some veggies into your buffet, and I can attest my teenage girls absolutely love them, and their friends. They had me make them for them for New Year's Eve, which was really fun. Okay, pizza. Let's talk pizza. So you don't have to order your pizza in. There are some fun ways you can make these at home. This is one of my favorite recipes. It's a muffin tin deep dish pepperoni pizza. And the secret here, have you guys ever tried turkey pepperoni?
Yes, it's delicious.
It's like
mind blowing, I have not.
Oh, you got to try it, Kara. Okay, here's the thing. I was so skeptical. I'm going to be honest. Turkey bacon's not my fave. Turkey pepperoni tastes just like the real thing, and it's like 70% less fat and calories. So with these babies, you basically take some store-bought pizza dough, put it in a muffin tin, put in your sauce and your mozzarella cheese, and top it with some chopped turkey pepperoni, and they're little adorable pizza bites that everybody would enjoy. Kids love those. Or if you're going gluten-free, which a lot of people are, and you really want to lighten them up, I have a way to make your favorite pizza bagels in a lighter way. That's really fun. So what you can do here is just take little slices of zucchini, pop them in your toaster oven to broil or under the broiler in your oven, and then do the same deal with the sauce and the cheese and the turkey pepperoni. They'll like give you that pizza fix. I actually make those for myself for lunch sometimes because they're just really fun.
When I was in high school, my friend's mom used to make the zucchini bites. She would just put a little layer of Parmesan cheese on top of them and toss them under the broiler for the same. Those were a nice little snack as well.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, zucchini, you know what? It's like a great little all-purpose thing. All these veggies you can sneak in and swap in. I mean, why not? You get your party food, but in a healthy way. It's so fun.
Yeah.
All right. Then let's talk about one big batch item, right? Like when I'm having people over, not that we're doing Super Bowl parties this year, but for your family, or if you're just gathering with your pod and doing some Super Bowl stuff, mac and cheese is always a winner. And this is definitely the time to bust out that Instant Pot that you got for Christmas that's like hiding in the garage that you've been afraid to use. That mac and cheese recipe right there, you can make in 5 minutes. Seriously, 5 minutes in one pot in the Instant Pot. You don't even have to wait for the water to boil or drain pasta. It's awesome. And again, family friendly, kid friendly. You can put different toppings on it. Another one that's really great in the Instant Pot, you can do tacos. These are pork carnitas tacos that you can make in under an hour. So anyone who's been like skeptical about using their Instant Pot or their pressure cooker, just check out some of my videos. I'm on YouTube too. It's Cooking W Julie. There are so many easy ways to use them to speed things up. And then finally, it wouldn't be Super Bowl or game day without some chili, right? So I have a really easy, fun one that you can make in one pot in about a half an hour. It's an pulled chicken ancho chili soup. So it's kind of like, I'm going to call it a love child of like tortilla soup and chili, and it's got chicken in it. It's so hearty. Again, it's kid friendly. I do a lot of recipes for Weight Watchers corporate for WW, and for anyone who's following the WW plan, that's actually 0 points. I'm doing my little Greek yogurt hack on top there too. So again, all these recipes, you guys, they're on the main page of my website, cookingwjulie.com, and definitely check out my Instagram. I'm going to be sharing them like all through the day in a story at cookingwjulie too.
Julie, thank you so much. My stomach is, I haven't had breakfast yet, and my stomach is rumbling right now because I was like, I want all of these things right now. Thank you so much, Julie. So again, cookingwjulie.com and at cookingwjulie on Instagram. Check her out for all of these delicious, healthy hacks. Julie Hartigan, thank you so much, my friend.
Thanks for having me, ladies. Have an awesome weekend. It was so great seeing you, and congrats on the show. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, she touched on every pregnancy craving I've had the past who knew that my baby likes a Super Bowl party diet? But
Your baby, really who could have guessed, Lise?
Right? Well, one last time, let's bring in meteorologist Mike Favetta. And by the way, we have to wish you a happy National Weather Person's Day.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, you know, this was inspired, I think, as this is like the post-traumatic feeling after the Groundhog Day. So somebody decided, hey, 3 days after putting all the weather people in the world through that stress of, oh, let's go listen to a rodent say what the forecast is, let's celebrate weather people, because after the last 5 days, I think, Kara, you mentioned 4 days in a row of, 12-hour shifts. Not to brag here, but it was 5 days in a row.
Oh, excuse me. Excuse me, my friend. I'm so sorry.
It was a lot. Basically, after we finished this show last Friday, the phone was nonstop ringing for the bookings for the next 5 days. And so that was quite a storm. Historic,
it's a good problem to have.
Setting. A good problem to have. Yes, this is true. But then I get to, I guess, enjoy it when it's nice and quiet and sunny when we enter spring, regardless of what the stupid little groundhog says. We've got some sunshine in the forecast today. In fact, it looks gorgeous by this afternoon. Plenty of clear sky and temperatures in the 40s. So the melting continues. You'll probably continue to see these giant icicles pop up here across the state with the sunshine in the forecast for tomorrow to start. Then the clouds come in tomorrow afternoon in advance of our round of snow on Sunday. I think we wake up with some light snow across New Jersey Sunday morning, end ending by the afternoon, and it could be anywhere from a light coating in the northern portion of New Jersey all the way to several inches down along the southern corner of the state. Those in Monmouth, Ocean, Atlantic counties that didn't see as much snow from this past weekend's nor'easter may actually pick up a little bit more this time if that storm tracks a little close to land, or I should say, on Sunday. Monday brings back very cold weather, 35 degrees, and then next week we're still in that pattern of every few days keeping an eye on another round of winter weather. So get the shovels ready, load up on the salt, and keep the gloves nearby because it gets very cold next week. When we join you next Friday, Kara and Lisa Marie, we will likely be in a deep, deep freeze with overnight lows down in the single digits across most of New Jersey.
Is that storm something to really worry about?
The Sunday storm?
Tuesday. I saw snow.
Tuesday. That may be more of an icy scenario, but I gotta say the weather computers have been throwing us curveballs recently. Usually we get a good indication of what will happen about 2 or 3 days before the storm actually comes in. There's been a lot of disagreement among the big global weather models about 5 days out. And then as we approach 2 days out, all of a sudden everything agrees. So it's become more of a challenge for forecasters really all across New Jersey as to what will transpire. But Tuesday, I think we'll have to wait a little longer to see what will actually occur that time.
Okay.
Oh, man, Mike, you're lucky it's Meteorologist Appreciation Day because otherwise I think everybody would be not too thrilled.
They'll throw snowballs at me.
I just wish we knew so we could have gotten you a cake or something.
Oh, that's so nice. I accept cannolis via proxy, so that is much appreciated.
Well, we'll have to have some Ubered over to your place, Mike, for sure. Mike Pavetta, thank you so much for that forecast. Lisa Marie, we are just about done here. Once again, this is your last week with us just for a little bit, right?
Well, no, next Friday.
Next Friday. I got you next Friday. Okay. Yes. Yeah. So good. And we have had a great show today. Lots of Super Bowl stuff. What's your pick for the Super Bowl, Lisa?
It's so hard to pick against Tom Brady. However, the Chiefs, they're a beast. They're a powerhouse. The coaches have been there before. Steve Spagnuolo has defeated Tom Brady in a Super Bowl before. Memories. So I have to go with the Chiefs.
You're going with the Chiefs. All right. See, I'm Giants fans all over are gonna send me nasty emails, I'm sure. I'm gonna go with the Bucks because I like the story. And I would also like to think that Tom Brady is gonna win this Super Bowl, take his trophy, and then maybe go on and retire and do something else. So
he was
no chance.
He's 45. So he's 43. So we have a couple more years. And I think he can go all the way to 50. I mean, he looks 25. His body's in the shape of a 25-year-old. I mean, why not?
Hey, I'd love to see it. Last year's Super Bowl, we were watching J-Lo and Shakira, who were 40 and 50, and talking about women of that age killing it. So why not the guys too? Let's see what happens.
That Super Bowl feels like 50 years ago. I mean, we had no idea about this COVID-19. We heard about some sort of foreign virus thing in Asia, and we're like, all right, whatever. Doesn't impact us. And then a month and a half later, our whole lives change. Is that not crazy to think about?
It's and there's I have literally a whole year of memory missing. When I talk about something, I'm like, oh, last year, and friends will be like, no, 2 years ago. And I was like, oh yeah, there was a whole year in between where nothing happened.
It's so bizarre. But hopefully we start coming out of this soon as the weather gets nicer and as more people get vaccinated and get their antibodies.
Absolutely. I know. Thankfully, my family got their vaccine, so I'm hoping to get out there soon as well. But they all qualify for things. I don't qualify for it.
Yeah.
All right, Lisa Marie, I will see you next Friday. Thank you, everybody, for watching us here on NJ On Air. This is the New Jersey Morning Show, Friday mornings at 9 a.m., streaming live, Facebook, Instagram, and of course on NJ On Air. We'll see you guys next week. Have a great weekend.